All right. I don't know. Who's on camera.
We're friends.
With Web.
It looked like it might be Dwayne on the right.
God, that tastes like ass.
I'm not sure about that.
Ball out.
Yo, what happens if I do beat it?
There's way too many ifs in this sense.
I hear Jaco's voice. It's kind of hoping it's Jaco because he has a beautiful deck,
I don't know.
and it's always nice to
Just
see
put you down
that
the stairs, but I kind of fell down instead.
on stream.
It could happen.
All right, looks like we're gonna have
That's what I got.
we're gonna have Jimmy hop on as a co-commenter, if I can figure out how to make that work.
It's easy to get both picks.
All right, can you hear me, Jimmy?
This one's you.
What you got? What you got?
I might be.
Yes. What's up?
All right, I can. Yep, I can hear you. You can hear me. I think you should be on the stream. So
All right, let me pull up the feed as well.
yeah, they're still shuffling now.
Yeah, I have your stream open, but that's a few seconds
Yeah, it's gonna be
behind.
too slow. You want the real feed.
Actually,
Yep. So we got co-host Jimmy McCarthy here to
I think that was like
help us out.
Got some headphones too. All right, so yeah, this is round 2. I'm gonna say that's Jason Jake on the left for sure, as he's pretty hard not to hear.
Yeah.
Look at that Bayou and that. Oh, who is that?
I don't know.
That might be Frank. Is Frank there?
Oh, if it's Frank, then that's.
I don't see Frank on the list. So who else would be playing lands?
Frank was intending to go.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Then that is probably Frank, because who else plays lands? Also, that Bayou is pretty ridiculous, and Frank's cards are very nice.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is going to be a match of two beautiful decks. And I think it's we got an Archon Oath deck and Vintage Lance, which is kind of awesome to see.
You can see Jaco's almost every card he owns is painted, which is really cool, but some of his painted cards are really hard to recognize. For example, when you borrow them from him, it can be really miserable to play with. When, like, wait till he plays a Force of Will, you'll see they're painted in a pretty weird fashion.
Stream, are you catching how good this
So Frank is playing a lot of one drops that don't do anything.
Yep, running everything into those missteps.
Jaco is I think Jaco is mostly trolling his friend Sean O'Brien, who's a big fan of misstep.
Yeah, he's the world's biggest misstep fan, in fact.
So Jaco's getting to Oath here on turn 2. That's pretty good. That's an Archon of Valor's Reach. Is that the right name?
Yep. Which is interesting because it's the card when it comes into play. You can name artifacts, creature, enchantment, or planeswalker, and people can't play those card types. But Frank's playing an almost all land deck.
Yeah, I was saying, can you name land? Because that would be pretty good, right?
You can't name land. Now, I think because Frank has nothing out, that enchantment's probably good enough.
Yeah, I think that. I mean, it's not even a legend, right? It's just a normal creature, so Caracas can't bounce.
Yeah, Caracas cannot bounce it, and Jaco has 2 Archons and 1 the Titan, Inferno Titan main deck.
That's pretty good against Caracas. Yeah, I don't know if they know that we can hear them that well, but yeah. What does Frank have? So someone in our Slack mentioned sorcery as a name. That makes sense. But crop rotation's an instant.
Yeah, crop rotation's an instant. Sorcery is
Jacob went with sorcery.
an answer sorcery. I think I do have a text version of Frank's deck list.
Okay, yeah, that would be good because I don't exactly know what's in his list.
Yeah, let me try to. I won't be able to get it on stream, but I can give it to Jimmy, and we can talk about what's in it.
That would be helpful. So Jacob's just gonna land because, like, the thing about the Archon Oath is there's no combo or anything like that. It's not like he's got Gristlebrand to go. It's not like he's got anything really powerful to do. He just kind of makes like 6 drop or 6 or 7 cost creatures and then attacks with them slowly.
Let's go.
So like if Frank can go off with his Dark Depths combo, Jacob can't really do a lot if Frank just like plays a Dark Depths next turn. It's not like any of his creatures can race a 20/20.
Yeah. If Frank just naturally has the cards, I think Jacob could be in trouble.
Yeah, which would, I mean, I think that's a problem with this matchup for Jacob. Because like if he's playing Gristlebrand, then you can combo off pretty quickly, but without, it's pretty tough. Okay, he's got Inferno Titan, that's great, but like it doesn't attack through Barrel Age.
Yeah, looking at, I have Frank's tech stack list. I can't get that on stream, but I'm not actually seeing any relevant sorceries unless I'm missing something.
It's Life from the Loam is why.
Life from the Loam. Yeah, Life from the Loam is relevant. I would say enchantments are also kind of relevant because exploration is a good way.
I agree with enchantment, instant, because like crop rotation is a card that can race here.
That's true. Crop rotation is pretty relevant here.
Let's see. Frank has 1 Mazavith, so like I can buy a little time, but that card is also not very good against Inferno Titan.
Yeah.
So I think Frank is pretty heavily on the combo out or die plan here in the next like 1 or 2 turns tops.
Though, I mean, that's not even, the Thespian State is already in play, right? So that's not even
Yeah.
that unrealistic.
He just needs to draw Dark Depths in theory.
Yeah.
But like he's got to do it like on this next draw step or he's just going to die.
I see.
How big is the Archon? Is it 4 power, 5 power?
So 5/6.
Okay.
Exactly big
So that'll
enough
put
to
him-
survive a Dismember.
Yeah, right?
Perfect. So it sounds like Frank's at 12. He'll go to a minimum 9 against Inferno Titan next turn. So like he has to combo next turn or he's just dead.
That's a lot of SS.
Really is.
Yeah, a traditional Oath list would kill faster probably. But
Yeah, like imagine if Jaco also had Gristlebrand on that first shot, or Emrakul the first shot. Like either of those creatures is lethal when it attacks because he just draws 21 cards, or he just kills you on the spot.
yeah, absolutely. Though,
Like the Archon.
yeah, against some decks like a workshop deck or an outcome deck, then the Archon's actually very exciting. But Lance is not where you want it.
Yeah, and like Frank, like we said, has so many different types. Like he has like 6 enchantments and he has like 8 sorceries and like 6 instants. Like he has a little bit of each and they're all pretty redundant. He's not like focused like Paradoxical where it's like Tinker and then every other card's an instant. He's got sort of some of everything, so you're just kind of guessing at what to do. You know, Jaco, for all his fancy, expensive painted cards, does not have any tokens here.
So this is Ben's turn.
Yeah, it would be nice to have some. We need to get a set of really nice tokens for future events to put on camera.
So I think Frank has 1 card in hand, it seems. Also, these players are not doing a great job of updating the phone life counter, but Frank is actually at 12, not 17.
Oh, we got someone in here.
Space factor is extremely high.
No,
Will Jaco die to his own oath? That would be pretty cool.
I'm sitting over my
Jago does have a guidance.
That is sick.
You don't know what this
Check it out, the miscut library.
Oh, wow.
Frank is a big fan of cards, especially fancy lands.
Okay,
3 cards in his library.
Would be Frank's last card is Ancestral. That would be pretty good.
That would be amazing. It's now Jacob does have a guy's cradle in his deck, but apparently it's in the bottom 3 cards. So
Yeah.
Ancestral would actually win it for Frank.
I mean, I don't really see any way that this game lasts 3 more of Jaco's turns.
Yeah, it's not an issue for him, and he can even cast Guy's Cradle to give himself 3 more turns.
Yeah,
Or
a
Guy's
blessing, rather. But yeah, he can get some more cards back in, get back time walk, something like that.
You're supposed to keep it in there, so that's gonna hit the graveyard.
No, I mean, he's hitting the graveyard.
That's
in
not
a
gonna
specific order.
That's not gonna know.
That's why I'm asking about
But the only order
Frank, who is a veteran judge, is being very precise about graveyard order here.
Possibly the only player here who will play by most of the rules correctly.
So,
I don't think he can help it.
but I do.
Which makes sense.
It's just pathological at this point.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's Jaco's whole deck. Frank's got the deck list now. We'll see if we can get him to lay it out after the game so we can see what's in there.
What can we even go?
Hopefully Jacob's figured out that crop rotation is the only relevant card left, but it looks like he might have a counterspell in his hand. He's got 1 or 2 blue cards at least.
I'm glad I played land.
Already used sorcery.
Jacob thinking real hard. I guess he's deciding if it's worth it attacking with his Archon, but I don't really see any way he can win without attacking. Oh, he's naming the other Archon. Sorry, my bad. And writing it on his $1 bill for some reason.
Interesting. Just
Yeah, I'm guessing that he didn't have a notepad with him, so he had $1 that he's using.
that's
Boy,
that's got to be peak Jason Jaco, right? Don't have a
any
piece of
idea
paper.
what he wrote on that? Because
Let's
it
write
sure
on
doesn't
money.
look like English. I'm gonna guess it's instant because, like, what else would you name?
Sorry, you're right.
So, looking at Frank's list, there are no creatures, but I do wonder if Jaco has to consider, like, am I afraid of turning off Oath or not?
I'll take it.
Or
I suppose.
flipping the Oath, like letting
yeah.
Frank go, right? It's plausible that Frank's deck would have some giant dumb creature in it, depending on what else is in
true.
the deck.
Yeah, I'm not sure what you'd play, but like he might be thinking there could be some weird Emrakul garbage or something like that, some like insane combo that he hadn't thought about. So he only attacks with the Archon, just gets in there for 5, which will put Frank to 7, which means that 2 Archons and an Inferno Titan are going to kill him pretty easily on his next turn. Frank makes a second Ghost Quarter out of his Thespian stage, because what else is he going to do with the mana?
Yeah, the Thespian stage, that effect doesn't end, right? You can just keep adding lands. to
Yeah,
it, or-
it stays as that land, and it keeps the stage ability, so there's not really any downside to doing it.
yeah.
Frank is really taking his time here before he scoops. Take the Let Me See Your Graveyard and that into scoop play, a classic.
I know my rules.
Yeah, really.
All right, Frank will pick up his cards now. Go ahead. Look at that, making him play it out, making him sweat.
Figure that out. I mean, I think he's trying to get a feel for what's in the deck for game 2.
Yeah, I think he's just kind of he's one of those don't scoop people,
Yeah, which is
which is totally reasonable. Totally
you're allowed
fine
to be
do.
that person. Yeah.
Just taking as many legal game actions as he can before he quits.
Second.
Looks like an Archon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like he said, the second Archon there turned off instant, which turned off crop rotation, which turned off his plan to instant speed make a blocker.
If I can just get around the point, but he's 45 by or
All right, so I'm gonna pull Jacob's deck up on the screen while we
Sounds good.
wait. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Oh, you can see it on the stream.
Yeah, I can watch your stream to watch it
Yeah,
too.
well, it'll be a couple seconds before it pops up for you, but that'll be it. So we have a text version of Frank's list, but we don't have. You know what? I'm going to post the text version of Frank's list just in the Twitch chat, and if you're watching, you can see it.
We can talk about it too.
Yeah. Oh, that did not post very well, but it's there. Yeah. So Jacob's list is just fun to look at, right?
It is very nice. This is actually a different set of Force of Wills than the one that I've seen him play with before. So these are the what is it? The Guru, the Four Seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, gorgeous. He also has a set that are altered to look like prominent other cards. Like one of his Force of Wills by picture looks like a mana drain, which let me tell you is really confusing to play with.
What's the actual card? Sorry.
So he has Force of Wills, but like one is a mana drain, like one looks like a force, one looks like an ancestral, and the other one's some other like prominent blue card. They kind of match his treasure map power that he's playing.
Yeah, but they look like other cards.
Yeah, they look like other cards though, and they're pretty gross. Like they're really nice altars, but man, it's so hard. Like when you walk behind him and he's playing, you look at his hand, he's like, oh, he's got drain in hand, and then he plays Force of Will. You're like, oh, he didn't have drain. He had that stupid altered Force of Will.
That's funny.
So Jacob's list here, pretty standard. I guess not really. This isn't a real standard deck, is it? People don't really play Archons.
I don't think Archon's really caught on with the greater community at all.
So like he's got the two Archons, he's got two mana drains, an Ancient Grudge, and an Abrupt Decay. That's a lot of 2 mana hate.
Yeah, I'm looking at the sideboard to see Blazing Archon is actually a pretty relevant
True.
card in the matchup.
Yeah, so he's got Leylines and Rest in Peace. Rest in Peace is almost certainly coming in. Leyline possibly, if he can find stuff to remove, just because like turns off Life from Alone, which is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a Carnage Tyrant in the sideboard. Not for this matchup, but I'm hoping we'll see that guy later.
Yeah, Carnage Tyrant is a fun one.
What else? Red Blast, Abrupt Decay, Ancient Grudge. Abrupt Decay maybe, but frankly, this matchup doesn't seem great. Like, because like Merit Lage is just it's Jace or bust, and that only works at sorcery speed.
Yeah, he basically needs the game to go down the same way it just did, right? He's got to have a fairly fast oath, and needs to be able to deal with like a fast bond or a mana bond or something. Though that getting the Blazing Archon.
The Blazing Archon would be excellent, and again, not a legend. Let's see what Frank's sideboard looks like real quick. So Frank's main deck, you guys saw in the chat, he's playing black-green lands. 4 Riftstone Portal, 2 Tabernacle. He's got 3 Ancient Grudges in the main and a Chalice, and 3 Null Rods, so that's a lot of... His sideboard, 1 Abrupt Decay, 2 Assassin's Trophy, that's almost certainly coming in. 1 Chains of Mephistopheles, 1 Crop Rotation, 4 Dark Confidant, 2 Grafdigger's Cage, 2 Nature's Claim, 2 Stony Silence. So I would expect the Assassin's Trophies, the Grafdigger's Cages, and probably the Nature's Claim.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
What do we bring out? Like, I don't know how good all of these sort of mana hate is in this match. Like 3 Ancient Grudges seems a little excessive against a deck that's only playing artifact mana.
Yeah, and it's also like the Moxes are in there just to play Oath 1 turn faster. It's not, Jaco doesn't need to ramp up to 6 mana, so
Exactly. Well, in this matchup, he actually does need to ramp up to 6 mana because of Grafdigger's Cage, right?
True. If the Grafdigger's Cage comes down.
Tabernacle doesn't seem that good. Like, I guess it can stop the Orchard tokens. It can let you sack Orchard tokens. So maybe that's relevant. Like, as someone who doesn't play lands, it's really hard for me to know the sort of marginal value of those interlocking pieces.
Yeah, lands is definitely not a matchup you see very often from any side of the table. It's
yeah, it's a weird one. And like, there's the people who play lands play only lands. Like, they play a lot of lands and they love playing it, and everyone else is just like, why would I play this? There's not any spells in the deck.
You want this one?
Yeah, pretty much.
Actually,
All right, real quick for chat. This event is 13 or 14 players. It will be 5 rounds of Swiss with a cut to top 4.
Yeah, then we're in round.
This is
two.
round 2.
I should update the matches.
Let's go.
We got a bunch of chat apps open at the moment.
figured it out.
We got Stream, we got other stream, we got Discord, we got Slack, we got Twitch. So much stuff going on. I don't know how you do this, Andy.
It's not easy.
That is so much better.
But
I have 2 monitors, and I feel like I need a 3rd one just for all the junk I need.
yeah, I bought a 3rd monitor just for Twitch, though I don't have that set up.
Shake it down.
Perfect.
In fact, it's a whole.
So it looks like we're gonna get ready for game 2.
Okay. Well, I know at least.
Again, that is Frank on the left, Jaco on the or Frank on the right, Jaco on the left. I like that both these players are playing sort of like their own brews, the decks that they are pretty well known for. Jaco playing just any random deck that no one else plays, and Frank playing lands in every format.
Yep. I mean, that's why the Team Series Invitational is great.
It is. Last round you got to see some other nonsense. You got to see 2-card money. Every round is just mono nonsense.
Good luck. Thanks, man.
I'm hoping that Jaco can get, or that Frank can get in some more attacks with the 1/1s to try and force Jaco to make some more marks on that dollar bill of his.
See how marked up we can get it. The prize support is pretty good for a 13-person tournament, which is fun because it's fun to see people play weird oddball decks when there actually is something on the line.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, that's sort of been a thing with Team Series Invitationals, right? So someone actually just linked the first one years and years ago that we did it in 2014, which was held at a friend of ours' house at Anthony Michaels or Twan 007. It was held just at his house years and years ago, just on a whim, and everyone played wacky stuff, and there was plenty of adult beverages and just the blast. We sort of carried on the tradition, and most people just play goofy stuff for the hell of it. What's going on here? Frank is doing a lot of stuff here. Looks like he had turn 1 Chalice 0. Turn 2, he's loaming back a pair of fetch lands. So not really a blazing start, but
How many cards
got the value train rolling.
Not like 6 bill. 6.
Yeah, and as we saw in the first game, now Frank didn't win, but he was just 1 out away from winning. He has a lot of time, right, in this matchup, so
Exactly.
getting that life from loam early, it's not a bad start.
Yeah. Game 1, Jaco had turn 1 Orchard Mox Oath, and Frank died with 8 lands in play after getting 2 separate Exploration Effects counters. It's not like Frank has got a combo on turn 2 to win. I think Frank having loam active is pretty happy. Ancestral he's not happy about, but unless Jaco can land Rest in Peace, Frank is gonna grind pretty hard. He's gonna catch up to the Ancestral very quickly.
Yeah, Ancestral just draws 3 cards once. Life from the Loam does it every turn.
So I saw Jaco drew his library. See how greedy he is? I'm betting extremely greedy.
Pretty decent.
Oh, he's not. Looks like we got.
Really kind of you.
Oh, it's the
Anything else,
Druids.
that friend? Sure.
There's the namesake card.
Will. Go to discard. Please do so.
Yeah, so this race is a little more interesting, right?
Exactly. So Jaco did bring in the ley lines like we speculated. Unfortunately, he appears to have drawn one on turn 1 instead of turn 0.
I'm at 19 from the spirit build that dark.
He's got the oath up. Let's see if Frank is going to do. It's like, I feel like there's a lot of possible stuff he could be doing here. He could be trying to get some lands, he could be comboing, he could be abrupt decaying. He did not dredge his loam, which is interesting.
Still nail up in here.
Must be looking for a specific card at this point.
Yeah, Stony Silence is an interesting sideboard choice. I guess he really was. He maybe did think that Jaco was going to be comboing more, but like after seeing 3 creatures, that's interesting.
Okay. You want me to get up? First.
Yeah, I mean, like you were saying before, if Frank gets out the cage early, then Stony Silence is suddenly a pretty good way of stopping Jaco from doing anything. But at this game,
It obviously did not happen. And like Frank only has 2 cages, which is not very many.
Oh. Yep. I'll drop.
So he's got sorcery again, so he's really not interested in that life
Is that a
pool.
GCJ friend in? Nice spice, baby.
All right, here we go. The library with 7 cards. You can notice that fancy miscut on that library.
Spend it for 6 months, right?
Jaco is thinking the same thing I am, which is Dwayne is very loud. So Jaco right now is thinking, boy, I hope that Frank doesn't just play Thespian stage next turn.
yeah, which is
Did you go ham last game?
totally a possibility.
Jaco's version of going ham is drawing a card for turn and attacking for 5. He does not have Yogg-Will, he does not have anything particularly broken in his deck.
Yeah, it's a very controlling oath list.
I have 7. Sure.
Oath number 2. So next turn, if he wants, he could actually get both of his other creatures.
No sorceries today. Dude.
No block 17. Spirit times 2.
Go ahead.
Alright, upkeep, both triggers will go on the stack.
Yeah, this game,
I'll,
I think Jaco wins, and probably right now.
I would be surprised. I don't really know how he's going to do that. I don't
Well-
really know what he has in his deck that can do that for him. He doesn't have any.
Well, if he gets Archon, I'm kind of or Blazing Archon. I'm just kind of counting that. I guess.
I would think Frank is going to respond to the Oath Trigger if he has an instant after last game when he got shut out.
Makes sense. Yep, there are 2.
But I mean, if he doesn't, then he doesn't have the crop rotation, which suggests that his hand is like 6 cards and they're all blanks.
So.
That's a bad spot for Frank.
99.
Yeah, now that it's game 2, I think the instant's even more critical because of
I'll resolve first.
Assassin's Trophy for sure.
Yeah. We're sort of. I think the ship has sailed on Assassin's Trophy at this point because killing creatures is not going to get
Yeah.
better.
Well, if Blazing Archon comes into play, then
It's true. If Blazing Archon hits play, though, then we get to cast our instants again because we don't get hit with the other one. It looks like Jaco opted not to oath twice. He did not give a token in response. Is that true, or can he still do it with the other trigger on the stack?
I mean, he definitely declared that he was putting both triggers on the stack. I'm assuming.
Yeah, I think he could still do it if he wants to. Frank will get it right either way.
Yeah,
so-
Frank knows.
There's no flashback spells as far as.
Maybe because the Archon's in play right now, it might be too late for that. But
This looks approximately the same as before.
Yeah, I don't know.
Probably
We'll
without.
see what Jacob wants to do.
nice
He might not be
remains
fancy
in there.
enough to bother with something
we're
like that.
definitely keeping
His hand looks like it has at least 2 missteps in it, maybe a force. I mean, Jacob's cast no spells except for like 2 Alpha Druids, so I think all his cards are basically counter spells. There's a dig through time. We got some mental missteps. We got a vampiric tutor.
What'd you name on that Archon?
I don't know my hand.
Frank asking Jacob what he named with an Archon. Jacob not remembering.
Hey, Jacob's apparently a couple Mullerts in already, which is good to know.
Yeah, Nam claimed that he had 6 drinks before the round 1. So
Or,
this sounds a little excessive, but who knows?
yeah, a little bit, but it's a Team Series Invitational. To be fair, for me, it's 2 hours earlier since I'm on Mountain Time. So round 1 started at like 11:30 for me. Where 6 drinks seems excessive. Maybe like 1 or 2 would be acceptable.
Well, I think with 6 drinks, including the on-camera shot of Malort, which is apparently everyone's doing before the.
Team Series only has the best traditions. Previously, that was the that became at a, I think it was at a Hazard Invitational that became a top 4/top 8 tradition. Is before the top 8 starts, everyone had a shot of Malort. Now apparently it's just every round, which is not an improvement.
Yeah, I mean it might be camera only. I don't
We
know.
have laying down there.
Could be.
I don't remember what Garbo we had laying down there.
Yeah, I just want to see what's been expelled so far.
Mhm.
Okay, so Time Walk and Ancestral.
All right, Jacob finally named something. I don't know what it is though, because his handwriting is indecipherable.
I'm really surprised he didn't actually try to go for like 2 outs that turn.
See, Frank thinking like I am.
I thought about that, that's why I put
Because
it
I realized I'm like,
last
oh,
turn,
you
but
could actually go pretty ham with that.
it depends.
Yeah, they have it all figured
It's
out.
like what I'm oathing into in the situation. So like,
I mean, just lets you oath into both the things.
yeah.
Both the things. Frank may not know that there's a Blazing Archon
I
lurking.
will.
That also might not actually be lurking, but I see
Yeah, I
it.
don't know, but
I
probably.
guess that probably is, because Jacob can then find Jace and bounce the Mirror Mage
no, we have
attack through it.
artifact.
It's not like he's just cold.
Yes. losing it.
No, I think
And
I'm
this is
losing
like
right now.
Prison House with all of the different Archons, like taking away all of your spell types and attack phases.
Yeah, it can get out of hand pretty
I
fast.
wasn't expecting to have
I'd like to see some sideboards and Fate Spinners to really go all the way.
Yeah,
Yep.
So you're 12?
can't have enough of those.
Bet you
The
twice.
card I most know
That's
because
correct.
when it first came out on Magic Online, if you played it, you immediately won the game on your opponent's next turn because they were unable to choose the phase, so they just timed it.
I will go to...
It's Fate Spinner did that.
Yeah, it was pretty good. So Fate Spinner, if you guys are unaware, and honestly, why would you be? It's like 12 years old. It was a Mirrodin rare where on your opponents at the start of their turn, they chose to skip. I think it was their main phase, their combat phase, or their draw step, something like that. Use your chat here. Yeah, they draw step, main phase, or combat, so they just skip all of those on their turn. So you played it, and then your opponent basically was supposed to pick one, but Moto was broken when it first came out, so they just couldn't select. So they just sat and waited at the prompt until they timed out.
Because I just figured out how to do it. We're gonna throw the card Fate Spinner up on the stream,
Oh man, I put it in chat to remember exactly.
and
It was a
even though it's not on the board, but
Much
this is what we're talking about.
Thank you for phrasing it that way. 0.
I mean, we're sort of just waiting for them
That's me playing extra lander.
I don't know. How long was I gone? Probably like, one game every 6 minutes or so.
All right, so is that what's the green card on the stack? I can't tell if that's a Life from Low or a Nature's Claim or Frank put something on the stack.
Yeah. No, it's exploration.
Exploration. Okay.
Are we streaming this camera too?
Jaco is really struggling with this one. His hand is like 5 mental missteps.
Are you dropping?
It's a TSI, you don't fucking drop it. Play till the end.
Is that even an option?
I'm dropping so there's no more bias. So.
Oh, okay.
But I wanted to make sure you weren't dropping because then there would be no more left.
Well, get a comb.
Passionate conversation
It's like tuned.
around the feature match camera. All right, what land just dropped
That's
there?
all damage. That's not
That is
Upkeep is what?
2 life.
Let me look at his list.
Like, kind of looks like a strippers playing
Go back to that channel in Discord.
This is like which I find fucking baller.
Oh, and the deck list.
Isn't that like a
Um,
law to like?
I'll paste it to you. And
This is a serious question.
I'm on camera, bitch.
I mean, we're
That's a
obviously.
man.
That's the
Federales.
worst fact that it's illegal makes it more the reason that we have to.
Ah.
The federale.
ah,
We're obviously.
That might be Glacial Chasm.
I'm your answer.
Federal law wouldn't apply.
Yeah,
But
I'll go to
Glacial Chasm.
Much aggro, yeah.
Oh, like a promo Glacial Chasm or
Yes,
something?
man.
Yeah.
12. Sure.
Yep.
I mean, if this resolves.
So let me look it up. Yeah, that's Glacial Chasm.
Yeah, so that's an important time to check out Jacob's list because I'm curious what.
So he can't remove it, but also like Frank can't really do much with it forever. It's not, he doesn't have access to life anymore, so he can't go infinite Glacial Chasm. So I don't really know what he's gonna do.
Because I always see.
Well, it buys
He's gonna
time.
buy some time, right?
Yeah, which if Jaco,
They're really great.
Alright, I'll go to my turn.
if all Jaco has is the Archons, then buying time is enough.
Yeah. And like, it's not like Jacob can really do much about it. He can like play planeswalkers and draw
So all
counter
damage
spells,
dealt to
but
is reduced to
no number of counter spells will stop a Thespian
Yeah,
stage.
life is 2.
That's true.
Let me get other people.
No,
no,
life
keep it.
is
Yeah.
2.
Depend, I guess. So this will depend heavily on if he brought in Blazing
You can
Archive
have
too.
another
If
dude's
he didn't,
Thanks, friend.
it's sort of a race between
I take
Mirror
damage
Age
from
and
mana
the
from
only
skill,
Glacial
sure.
Chasm. Because Lage, it'll take 3 Mirror Age attacks, right? Because there's 2 Blazing or Archons of Valor's
This
Reach.
dude's sweat.
I'll say.
Jason Mind Sculptor is pretty good. That makes things pretty bad. I think Frank is losing this game. I would be surprised to
That's
see
where
him
it's
win,
another
but
question entirely.
there's just so much on Jaco's side. Jaco also has the option if he really needs it, he can loop his deck with Guy's Blessing, right? If you're to oath all of his creatures out, he can block with the Guy,
I'll show it in stream.
oath, flip Blessing, flip his deck, block with the
based on
other
that
one,
expression, I
next
assume
turn,
that's
oath up
staying
a
where it
new one and
is.
buy another turn. Like he can buy an enormous amount of time.
I'm trying to think of
Yeah, absolutely.
Last
Um,
honestly.
And now that he has Jace, the Merit Lage only gets to attack 1 time before it gets bounced. So Frank needs to get another Merit, like he needs to get what, like 3 Merit Lages and or
It's amazing.
a Assassin's Trophy with it.
Merit Lage does not trample, correct?
Merit Lage does not trample.
Yeah,
Flying
so-
indestructible.
So the,
Go ahead.
you know, well, you can hold an Archon back and block,
Yeah,
bounce it, and with Guy's
Exactly.
Blessing, get the Archon back.
eventually. Like it's slow, but if Jaco can mill his whole deck and slowly get his Archons back. And like with Jace, Frank just needs to make Merit Lage
Yep.
so many times, it's absurd.
Attack, go ahead.
There's Mazavith, which in case
those
this
stay where
game
they're at.
wasn't dragging enough, to make sure that it tanked a little more.
I have 6.
I
Buying
think
time.
Frank is going to end up paying for Chasm maybe 2 more times or something. He's going to pay for it till he can't, and then Jaco's just going to kill him.
I'll tap to go after the turn. 7. I'll play a land for this turn.
Tag out when's the last time? Or Tendril. When was the last time any of us played that? It
So many colors, it's insane.
Yeah, this is
you don't get smipped here.
This says again, no damage, right?
Yes.
yeah.
All damage that would be
If Jason has the Blazing Archon in his deck, I think the game is just his. But
Also gonna say.
if he doesn't, and from Price's perspective, why would he know that?
Burn it.
This is,
At least.
I don't know. It's really interesting. Land's just being able to buy a huge amount of time between
True.
Chasm and Maze.
I just don't think he can do anything with that time. Like, I don't think he has any cards in his 75 that can get him out of this situation.
Now, wait, can't you keep Chasm around forever with Life Rune alone?
Those can get-
He could, except
And-
for that sorcery has been named by that first
Oh.
Archon of that.
Sure. Never mind.
Doesn't go- yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's why it's so good. Frank really digging deep. He's gonna try and go the hard way on Dark Death.
Yeah.
The problem is that changes.
You note that Frank has 7
it's
lands in
also
play, and
one
3 of them
attack,
do
but
not
you
actually
double
tap for mana. He's really showing off all of
Yeah, I'm at 11
all
right
of the
Yeah,
greatest
wait,
hits of
actually.
Magic card land design.
11.
And we know that he's going to draw the second Glacial Chasm before he draws the answer. So just to reset it.
Oh yeah,
Or
I
it-
would buy him a turn or two probably. But the other thing is Jaco does have Jace the Mind Sculptor, and Jace's ultimate doesn't care about Glacial Chasm. So like, if somehow Frank even were able to go infinite with Glacial Chasm, Jace the Mind Sculptor will just
Yeah,
go
I mean,
that way.
with this and this, it's like you
Yeah, that's
honestly
true.
don't have an option. So it was a land, I think.
Yeah.
So
Let's see if we can get a peek at Frank's.
I'll
deck
try
as
to
it goes
eke back a little bit of stream pimp with my Taiga.
out of here.
It's crimped.
Oh, you got the current beta build. All right.
Yeah.
You'll
through.
get
Oh,
that.
Grim Beta Taiga, that's a nice one.
Yeah, that was me. Yeah, that guy actually exists.
Yeah, these are
No, I have a lot of current
some
beta
nice
builds.
cards
I
for
normally
sure.
I don't play because I'm trying to play all altered stuff.
You don't have to face something like that, right?
Oh no, I
Jaco
have,
saying,
have
"Oh
like
yeah, I got all that stuff, but I
5
don't play.
or
It's not
7
good enough for
current
me."
beta powers.
What the fuck? Yeah, sure. Okay.
That's a very Jaco
So
thing to
this
say.
trigger is gonna have
I mean, I'm sure it's true as well.
Yeah, that's 6.
I mean, it's not. He's not lying. I've seen all that stuff.
what is the card called?
Glacial Chasm.
Yeah, go for it.
I'll drop turn.
I really admire that. In addition to writing his life total on his dollar bill, he's also writing the sources of damage for each one. The really sort of in-depth way that people keep track. Also on his dollar bill.
On your end
Yeah, it's gotta
2 blue.
gotta keep track.
Drain nothing.
Or
I wonder how many singles he has on him. Maybe by the end of the tournament, he'll be right at like 20s or 50s.
And then right to the strip club afterwards.
You start with a guy's blessing.
Absolutely.
2 Archons, what the fuck?
Somewhere.
One's bad
I
enough.
say G is not
5,
there,
6.
so I think the chances
You're
are
all
lower
the
for
Moxie
that
didn't
than
you?
usual.
Yeah, exactly.
If Jacob always keeps track of his life this way, then somewhere in the Midwest is a very confused stripper.
Fuck, he has 2 Archons, that is
So
cheating.
dig through time means that the Archon does not have instant on it. So what are the choices? Sorcery, instant, artifacts.
Yeah, you can't name creature.
I'm gonna pull it up in your chat so I can see artifact, enchantment,
Here's
instant,
now,
sorcery,
sorry,
planeswalker. Well, Jacob has played planeswalkers and instants. We've seen an enchantment. We've seen a sorcery, so it must be naming artifact because it's the only type left.
Go to my turn? Not triggering shit.
Somehow, the Archon on Jacob's left says artifact, although I'm not really sure it's readable.
He's fucking
You cannot name
All the
tribal.
targets he could be.
As you saw in the chat, I linked the
2
card
Archons
because I don't remember
Valor.
exactly the text.
Try to pull
Magic
it up.
pots are the best.
Yay.
I guess it makes sense Jacob did not name instants since his hand had like 6 instants in it at the time.
Yeah, that does make sense. Even though Frank's instants are important, I'm guessing Jacob's more total.
Yeah, then like all of Frank's instants are covered pretty easily by Jacob's like 5 counter spells. The other thing here is that Abrupt Decay, as someone who's played a ton of Bug before Assassin's
Oh, we
Creed,
have 6 mana.
the biggest problem with Abrupt
Just
Decay is
exactly enough
I don't
to
have
check.
any more.
Sculptor.
Get another dude swag.
That's true. Yeah.
Like that's the number one card in the entire format that it doesn't do anything about, which is like that's the only reason that I would play Assassin's Trophy over it is to kill Jace the Mind Sculptor. And the uncounterable part is huge when your opponent is holding like 5 counter spells, and here then like even if Frank draws both as Assassin's Trophies, he's not gonna be able to do anything with them
It's
because
gonna be exiled, whatever. you do.
Jacob's just gonna counter it and protect his Jace.
End step, you're moving a counter. Right, okay.
Frank is really in the Reed Duke never say die, never surrender, never concede school here.
Which I can't do it myself, but I respect players who do that. I feel like in the long run, you certainly win more games, and I think you end up better.
I mean, it's
But-
questionable. Like you do occasionally win games that look like you're losing, but you also spend an enormous amount of your life playing losing games and just kind of miserably slogging through nothing. So it's sort of up to you if you want to face that mental anguish for the chance to win 100 extra games.
That's fair. That is a fair analysis.
Like if I were Frank, I feel like scooping about 3 turns ago would have been totally reasonable.
Yeah, I scoop too early. I will definitely scoop games that I shouldn't scoop, and I kind of get in that habit. But
I've
They're-
definitely skipped games and then later realized that I could have won. Like I missed something on board or whatever. But,
This guy has moved to take
I guess
5.
that's what happens when you get cooked.
you know, that's a small price to pay for having saved like tens or hundreds of hours of my life of just sitting there watching my opponent dirtle around and kill.
That'd be too loud.
Or, but I mean, like anything.
Do this to you.
Yep.
Yeah, so that Jace is ticking up there. Or is it 9? Is it 13 to ult?
9. It's 12 minus 12 to ult. Jace did get attacked by spirit token. Really one of my favorite synergies.
Fuck, 2 Archons? What is this shit?
Playing like
Actually,
Wait, you didn't see the
7
third
different
one?
planeswalkers. Forbidden Archer.
so the turn. Remember the turn?
Looks
where
like
they were surprisingly
looks like Frank gave the handshake, so I'm assuming
Obviously,
that's
played the second
finally
of the previous
accepted
turn.
Jaina.
the win to
do
Jacob
that,
there.
right?
Yeah.
So when I drew with library on
You
the
drew the
upkeep,
Archon?
I drew the Archon.
All right.
Oh, he did have the blazing.
Trying to hack the
but he
forecast?
drew it.
Otherwise, I was
Oh,
going
I
to
didn't see
into
that.
Archon reveal.
Yeah.
The Archon that was
I was eventually gonna be able to chip my way into that if I had like a
Oh
physical
no.
stage or something.
Well, I mean, this Stony style
Like,
is pretty helpful for
knock
that
out
then.
the sorcery
Did you
Archon.
hear
I
that?
I mean, you can't even play artifacts because Jake can name it with his other archive abilities. He would have had to play 9 land.
I said you fart all the time, motherfucker.
Awesome.
So that
That's
was
the match.
Yeah.
a pretty one-sided
Are you
match.
playing another Oath deck? Can you win without that card in your set?
Yeah, I suspect that the actual match is closer than we saw. It was 2 fairly
Your
early
deck
outs.
with no legendary
Yeah.
creatures. What the fuck?
Yeah.
This guy has Caracas on the second turn, and he just gets treated.
Why don't you win a game without Oath in your deck, like one time, like even once?
Caracas with the loss.
What the fuck?
Oh, Caracas GG, as in I concede.
All right.
He's like, I'm sitting pretty on this motherfucker.
No, it wasn't even like City Pretty. I'm like, I think I got like a status quo or something like right now. Well, no, the real,
Yeah, I know we have the,
so the real mistake was I probably
no
should,
creatures that can be bounced.
Webcam around there somewhere.
Jesus Christ.
what a fucking bitch.
So in summation, Jaco's a little.
That would be Nathan on camera who you saw get browned by.
You know, I really wish I would have
That's true.
drawn the.
Looks like they are ready for round 3, so we probably won't have time to chat with anyone.
Yeah. Well, let's see if we can get like a quick interview.
No,
I'm probably sure.
Do you want to play versus another Oath deck?
Sure. Now, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get...
I'd be fine with that.
Oh, you can join...
Jesus Christ.
That's fair.
I'm trying to figure... You probably won't be able to see them or talk to them if they're...
I mean, I can. I don't need to see them talk, but I should be able to hear them.
Dude, Oath is
I don't know. Well, we'll give it a try. You might be able to join the Discord call. Yeah. This is great coverage.